What's up, Shaka, brother?
Shaka, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, a couple weeks ago, they were on the radio show, and I found out that they were going to be at CPAC, and I was like, if you're going to be at CPAC, I want you sitting at my table. And they have graced me with their presence. And after watching them on TV, it's great seeing them in person. And I can easily say, without any reservation, they're my family. I appreciate y'all joining me.
Thank you.
today.
Thank you, brother.
We
Who do
love
I
you.
make the check to now?
Oh, well, you
Wayne Dupree.
A realist.
Is it Duane or Wayne?
Hey, Duane will work too. Duane will work too. So right now we have people that are watching on YouTube.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We have people watching on YouTube, and we also got our radio going at the same time. So
Okay.
All right.
they might have some questions for you. You know,
We're
I'm
ready
gonna.
to answer. We love that
Boom.
question
We're
and answer
good.
stuff.
This is your first. Well, let's see. Hold on, wait a minute. Alice says hello, Beth. Summer Sunrise says hi, dog. Alice says hi, hey, dog.
What's up?
Brenda loves Beth's dress and scarf.
Thank you.
And you know, I'll I'll
That's
talk
good.
about this here and there.
Once in a while. we'll
This
tell
is your
us what
first
we think.
CPAC.
It is.
It is, yes.
What do you
My
think
first
about this?
one.
Kind of huge.
First year I voted.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, 40 years ago I was a felon, so now they released that because 40 years, and I voted. I felt really, really good. So now, look out. Who are you looking for? Any Democrat that wants it?
There you go. Hey, I think a lot of people did that this time around. Donald Trump just energized a whole lot of regular Americans. It's a
No,
good
he
thing.
sure did. This was we couldn't say nothing until after he won. Who'd you vote for? I claim the fifth.
I don't claim the fifth.
After he won,
Yeah, exactly
we
right.
I ain't claiming the fifth. I'm loud and proud about it.
That's right. Stand up, boy. Stand up. Yeah, man, I voted for him. What you got to say about it? What you got to say about it? You know. But no.
Because I encourage him, like, really, come try to steal my hat.
There you go.
Come try to
There
take
you
my.
go.
Come try to tell me something about it.
How
I
many times-
encourage anybody who thinks that they got an opinion to come give it to me, because I'll set them straight real quick. When people walk the walk and you're out in the streets every day and you're inside people's homes and you see how people live and you see the homeless and you see what's going on, they can't talk that crap to me, because I encourage them to go live in the real world.
What do you think about those individuals? Because not everybody is strong-willed. They want to be, but not everybody's strong-willed.
Right.
And I kind of feel bad about the Tea Party, because back then the Tea Party had a message for Washington, not just Democrats, but they had a message for Washington. Y'all taxing us too much.
Right.
Y'all taking away our money too much.
Right.
And we're going to be here until y'all stop. Well, then the media, everybody start calling them racists and mobsters and stuff like that. And you saw the large crowd start to get smaller and
Right,
smaller
fake
and
news.
smaller. Yeah. So when you see that now with where people are afraid to wear the hat, because I know I'll wear a hat and dare somebody to take it off. But you have some weak, they are weak,
Snowflakes.
that are afraid to wear their convictions.
Yeah.
We
We had a T-shirt done that says "Don't be a chump, vote for Trump," and we wore them. We wore them. He wore them. It had dog's face on it, right? Because this
Oh, that's
message was
nice.
approved
That's
by a
nice.
dog. But we sold those T-shirts online. People were secretly buying them. They're like, "Hey, I got to have that T-shirt."
Wow.
They might not wear it out in public, but they had to have that T-shirt.
How did that make you feel, though? Where, I love you, man. I want the shirt. I'll buy 3 or 4. I just can't wear them out in public. How did that make you feel?
Sorry for them.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you about the Tea Party. I'm sorry to go back, but that's before they had live Facebook.
Right, that's true.
That's true.
That's true.
Before they had live
That's
stuff.
true.
Nowadays, we're getting a little braver because you want to see it, we got it.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
We talk about love. We do love. The Democratic or the Republican Party is the biggest loving party there is. We have the most children, the most jobs. Yeah, there's some of us on welfare, but they get off.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so, and
Right.
not that it's a bad thing, but we have now social media, we have now Twitter, we have the things that we can really put our opinion out there,
Right.
and we all are not perfect. Everybody has made. I know this guy who never smoked a cigarette. He never dialed the wrong number. He never tied his shoe wrong. His name was Jesus.
There you go.
And other than that, we've all made mistakes, even Republicans.
Right.
I
But
don't
we
know about
forgive.
that. I don't make mistakes.
Oh yeah.
You know what? I was going to say the same thing, but I was going to let you go. But I don't make mistakes either.
Wait,
No, I'm kidding.
Republicans.
No, but I mean, you're right. And when I saw, like I told your wife, Beth, I saw y'all take that political turn, and I was like, wow, because if you could do that, and now you're focusing that spirit and that energy into help fixing the nation, not just the community, but now, I mean, look, who would ever thought that you would be behind Sheriff Clark in Washington, D.C. at CPAC,
Right.
putting your own name on the line of somebody that you believe in
Yes.
Right.
a
for
lot.
Congress.
Right.
Right.
Okay? And then you're also promoting how to fix this nation. Sooner or later, probably, you're probably going to have a face-to-face with Donald Trump soon. You probably will. And then you'll be able to sit down there and talk to him and like, listen.
Bail reform.
Exactly.
I'm going to talk to him about
this is where we are.
the
and
national
this
hug-a-thug campaign
Right,
needs
right.
to stop,
Right.
and like I applaud him for his stand on catch and release, but I want him to expand on that and make that a domestic policy as well, because you can't stop crime, you can't stop the drug dealing, the gang violence, you can't stop all that stuff when you've got a revolving door installed at every jail across America. We have to put some common sense parameters on this. We have to start keeping people in jail. I know there's a movement downstairs that is called Right on Crime, and I think they got it wrong, because I think they're at the wrong convention. Okay, because look, we could go back to Harlem in the '80s, which is a very frightening.
Oh yeah,
Crack wars.
It's a very frightening scenario, but basically what happened, Mayor Giuliani and others, got really strong on crime, and that's what turned the corner in our country, and then over the years we've gotten softer and softer, and whoa, maybe that was too much, and maybe we shouldn't have done that, and I think a lot of that came, as we talked about before, was that California is suffering the effects of their 3 strikes and you're out. Mm-hmm. It's not that 3 strikes and you're out was a bad concept. It was that the criminals just they didn't get it. Right. They didn't understand that after 3 they were going to be sitting there, and those are the folks that are actually languishing in jail. Those are the guys that we should be looking at. People that have been convicted already, that are doing very long sentences. Those are the people that we should be taking a second look at and starting to release some of those people. But post-conviction, before we even know who you are or how big of a Charlie Manson fan you are, or what side of the bread your toast is actually buttered on, I think we have to be careful with that, because right now we're creating such a dangerous community and a dangerous situation for both my husband, for law enforcement, for our servicemen and women. First responders are being shot at. We have such a blatant disrespect in this country for our servicemen and women.
Yes.
There are people, it makes me sick to see veterans laying on streets with no blankets and, not being fed and not being given the same comforts as most of these drug addicts. We've got people on career welfare recipients. That's their career.
Yep.
They're
Multi-generational in some.
multi-generational.
No, it's passed down.
And I think that, getting strong on that, where, you have to take drug urine analysis to pick up your welfare check, I think that's fair. I think if you got warrants for your arrest, you shouldn't pick up your food stamps. I think if you're ever caught selling food stamps, you never get them again. I mean, those are the things. We have to start cutting down on these programs. We want to give them. Don't get me wrong, because I was a single mom. I was a welfare mom. I had to have those things myself, but I didn't make a career out of it.
Now she's a gold digger.
That's right. That's
but
right.
you know what? You said something about the generational thing. We were talking about that yesterday, I think it was, where they get it, and the children, instead of the parents showing the children how to make it,
Right.
the children see the parents trying to jank the system.
Right.
So when they grow up,
Right.
they grow up into that jank that jank 1.
Right.
And then they tried to make it easier for them by going around that jank, creating a jank 2. And then their children are janking 3.
Yeah.
And they never, and then they start blaming the white man, or they start blaming
Society.
Republicans.
Yeah.
Well, the white man don't want us to get ahead, or and it's like, wait a minute, hold on.
I don't think there's any shame in it either. I remember when I was a young kid.
Not anymore.
Right, but when I was a kid, my mom needed to get on food stamps too.
Right.
And back then, they were food stamps. They were monopoly money.
Yeah.
And she'd send me to the store. And I had to go to the store with this fake money. And I'd go down there, and you'd get whatever she told you to get, and you'd look this way and make sure none of my friends are looking,
Right.
Quick, give them the, but there's no shame anymore.
No.
Now it's like it's a Visa card or whatever. I think there should be a little bit more shame. Maybe we could get it cut down a little to where people would have some pride and want to get out and pull themselves out.
Colorado, it's a 5-year deal. You can be on welfare for 5 years in total. So if you want to take the whole 5 years all at once, you can do that, but then you don't get it anymore. So, and they also implemented a policy where you have to be out looking for work. You have to turn in a state. Yeah, what is it? It's a
piece of paper that says, "Where did you go this week?" Fill it out and tell me who you talked to. Does it? So let me tell you this. You could Google this right now. Crime in New Jersey. Crime in New Jersey. No more bail. You catch and release. Christie is a fake Republican.
There you go.
He said the other day that bail bondsmen are taking money from the poor.
From the poor.
Guess what? The poor don't have any money. So
Right.
a bail bondsman has to make a weekly report to the state on who he bonds or she bonds. I challenge right now to get their bail report, it's called, and see how many poor people they bonded out. Now, for instance, burglar, once he hit the house, had dope on him. They busted him, put him in jail. They go, okay, we're releasing you. He's like, what? This is a true story. You could Google it. He went out that same day, hit another house. They caught him again, twice in a 24-hour period. Released him again. He had court on Monday. Guess what? Failed to appear. The sheriff and the police department wrote, "Dear people, we cannot protect you anymore." What in the heck is going on? Thank God we won the election.
Yeah.
Now we can change this. I was just in the restroom talking to a preacher. This ain't only his
They name a song after
this
that.
ain't only his first 100 days. This is my
That's
first
weird.
100 days. No, it's a good place to meet a preacher's in the
I
bathroom.
don't know about that. I think that could be misunderstood.
That's all right.
Was he Catholic?
Of course not.
Hey, I'm looking at official dog news. You guys are into so much. It looks like you guys are trying to take the fight to protect crime victims and save the bail industry in Georgia.
Yes.
What's going on with that?
Well, Georgia just had their an appeals case heard in front of the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, which, by the way, if you've never been to see the 3-judge panel at the Court of Appeals, it is definitely an experience that you should experience. These men are very, very smart men, and it was really refreshing to see judges who were so in tune with the real world and with crime and punishment. Basically, there's a group going around this country filing lawsuits in very small municipalities who don't really have money to fight them off. And so basically, they're going in trying to certify a class to claim that bail bonds, no money should ever transpire between people for bail bonds. That if a person goes to jail, they should simply be brought in, their photo taken, their fingerprints taken, and they should be released back into the society. Which I'm fine with that on a first-time arrest. A person who's never been in trouble before, is now suddenly in trouble. I have no problem with that. You know what? Give them a free bond. But how many free bonds do you give them? The average day in a drug addict, they commit, 3 to 4 to 6 misdemeanors, top it off with a couple of felonies, and that's just Monday.
Yeah,
so, if we give them all PR bonds on Monday, what do you give them on Tuesday? And we have to start roping this back in. The country is spending $1.2 billion on supervision of people who are out on bail. And honestly, the private sector has been doing it. it's almost as old as the Republic. It's 200 years there's been bail bonds in America, and we've done a pretty good job at no cost to the taxpayer, and it's about appearance. I mean, people forget that a bail bond, it's not just to get you out of jail. It's to guarantee that you will come back to stand trial for whatever crime you've been charged with.
And if you don't come back, that's where I fit in.
And that's where he comes in. But he doesn't fit in with pretrial because he doesn't work for pretrial, and there's no one bringing him back in for pretrial.
And
So
it's
only for the
taxpayer free. Sorry to interrupt you.
only
Renee.
for the only for the private
No,
sector.
I don't get paid unless I catch the guy. I don't get paid for coming really close. I get paid when I catch him, not by the taxpayers.
Right.
We get someone out on bail. It all depends on the crime. Number one, we put him on a check-in. Number two, if he beat his wife, he's going to domestic violence classes.
Right.
Number three, he better, again, check in with me because I want to talk to your wife. You get out on a pretrial free bond, see you next week.
Not.
Terrible. What was going on in America? And like I said, this is his first 100 days.
Yeah.
This is our first 100 days also.
But also, Trump doesn't know that this massive hug-a-thug campaign is going on across this country. I'm sure he hasn't even gotten.
Right.
He hasn't even gotten to these things yet, but he
Right.
is looking for huge amounts of government waste and government spending, and I think that he could start with that $1.2 billion. Wouldn't hurt my feelings at all.
Look at you.
Now, we don't want to change the subject, but we have this friend. Don't blow it. Don't do the punchline. We have this friend who's tough on crime. Could probably whoop me. And he carries a gun.
Uh-oh.
He's 6'4". And when he walks in a room, you're like, oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen him do that already.
I've seen him, yeah.
Go
Big
ahead.
4
What's his name?
stars.
I think we all know we're talking about
Big
Sheriff
4
David
stars
Clark.
on both shoulders. Yeah.
Sheriff Clark.
Let me tell you something. I did a panel with him last year, and I stood beside him. I felt like his 2-year-old child.
No.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
I did. I was like, okay.
Okay.
I remember seeing him in this very hall when it was filled with people.
Right.
And it was almost like a light was shining on him.
Yeah.
No,
You could
that's
tell this guy's in charge of the room.
That's the anointing, it's called. That
Yeah.
preacher in the bathroom we was
It is
talking
an
about it.
anointing.
Okay. All right.
That's the anointing.
I know about
He's
that.
got a calling on his life, and it's in the U.S. Senate.
Yes.
See,
Yes.
we hear now.
Yeah.
We're hearing now about that anointing and the calling on the life, because that's what I grew up.
So he's done as much as he could do in Milwaukee.
Right.
He's at the top of that mountain. He's got to close his eyes and see another mountain, because now he did a good job in that state. We need him nationally. So we need him in the White House as a senator. And I'm telling you, the guy's going to win. I don't think his incumbents will run against him. And once we talk him into it with your help and your listeners' help, you need to email him. You need to tweet him. You know what?
Encourage him.
I know him. If I've met him, I don't know his heart, but I know this. If enough people say one word to him, he'll run. Please.
You hear that,
We
ladies
need
and gentlemen?
Ladies and
Please,
gentlemen,
Sheriff Clark, please. That'll get
I'd
him.
love to hear you beg. You should beg. You beg more.
I wasn't on The Apprentice because I wasn't a good beggar.
That's not the only reason you weren't on The Apprentice. We'll stop right there. Because they wouldn't let your wife come on to make you look good. Now, if there was a couples edition,
yeah,
we'd have been all over it.
there. Look at that. Okay,
So,
Exactly.
no, back to Sheriff Clark. So that's a real reason we first showed up. Now, I'm going to come next year. Also, this is a great, how would I say this? This is a great meeting of minds. Everybody here is my friend. I love people. And I like to arrest people too, but I really
You had to get that in there.
I like to slam them and then fix them, bro.
Hey, Doug,
slam him, fix him, baby.
Yeah.
Doug, you gotta tell the people you have this unique, I'm going to say walking stick,
Yes, sir.
but I know it has a story behind it that
So
you'd like
I'm
to share.
Half-breed Apache, Chiricahua.
My God.
And my tribe would send me about a walking stick one a month. And so I called the chief and said, what are you trying to curse me? What are you doing? And about 9 weeks ago, I had to have a back surgery to fix something that, usually happens to young people. So when the doctor said it's going to be a while before you walk, son. And my wife is half Italian.
Wasn't
She
having
don't
it.
allow that.
Oh.
And
was like,
so
hell no.
she walked up to the hospital. I was supposed to be there 4 days. On the first day, folks, she brought my stick and handed it to me while I was in the bed, and then pajamas that fit you backwards.
Yeah.
And she said, here,
Let's go.
Apache,
Let's
go.
go. We're out of here.
No, Hey,
We're outta here.
You know I'm telling you the truth.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
No, I
And
wasn't
then
having
they
it.
said,
Catch
you gotta
that first
check yourself.
draft.
No, all the nurses and doctors, because I have insurance, Screen Actors Guild, right? It's good insurance. So they're all like, wait a minute, you got to sign here and check out. She goes, here, he's checking out.
Nice.
And I left, and so far, so good. I mean, once in a while I feel it, so I'm using the walking stick. And just in case, I can't say this because it might be a felony, but just in case I get somebody that wants to take away my Donald Trump hat,
You're going to open a can of whoop ass right
There
there.
you go.
this thing right here and do some damage. No.
No,
Just
it's
teasing.
really amazing, though. The people really don't talk to us about Donald Trump because I think they know.
She
that
carries a
you know,
taser.
well, yeah, well, that's true. That a double
double
taser. Shotter.
Yeah.
But look, people who are confident about their stance, they don't mess with. It's people who are weak.
Right. Exactly.
It's people who are weak,
Exactly.
who can be easily persuaded.
Yep.
People that, hey, why don't you just don't show up? Why don't you just don't vote? Like those kind of people. People who just were intimidated by the whole process. Those are the people that didn't stand up. But obviously there was enough of us quiet people in the background that when we stepped up, it was enough to make a difference. I think that he's got a long road ahead of him, and I think that it's very difficult.
We got to pray. We got to pray for him.
We do have to pray for him because he has a lot of arrows being shot at him every day, and people trying to take him out. And I get so sick of the whole "we need to impeach him." What are you going to impeach him for?
Exactly.
And
What are you
like
gonna
we
impeach him
always
for?
say, Keith Ellison for DNC chair.
Exactly.
Please vote for Keith Ellison.
I am totally for Keith Ellison right now to be DNC chair because once that happens,
Right.
then we will see a massive influx on our side.
Right.
Because then the Democrats have shot their tail to hell.
Right.
Because now we can label them as
This guy's affiliated with terrorists.
Muslims,
I mean, he brought.
and the Democrats have now.
Embedded themselves.
Yep.
That's it.
He's the new face.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it.
No,
He
he
is
is.
the new face
The
of the
Democrat Party is against women,
Yep.
just like Keith Ellison is against women.
Jews, against
simple.
women, against homosexuals. If you put him up there,
That's right.
then that faith,
It's-
that faith is against
It's
homosexuals.
time for them to wear what they are, and that's something. But something else too.
Against
that's
fathers too.
A little different with the Trump administration than others. I really believe we have to stay, at least for now. We have to stay in the campaign mode. We can't get complacent and just go back and
No way.
pretend we're done. We're not done. We're
No,
going to have to
I told
keep
you,
fighting.
This is our first 100 days, too.
Right.
And that's going to be our second 100 days.
Yep.
And then our second year.
Well, and the
no,
people
it's
that
going to take
voted-
a while to get this back. It's like an accident with your car.
Right.
It's going to take a while
That's
to
correct.
fix it.
That's right.
America was almost broken, guys.
Not
I'm
almost.
telling you.
America's broken.
It was crimes running rampant.
Crime is still
Love
running
is
rampant.
gone. Shoot thy neighbor. Make my day law. It's almost, but we saved it. And the guy, my grandfather, on the Anglo-Saxon side of my family, said, "Listen, I'm voting for the guy with the most money because he won't have to steal none from me."
Well, and that's an interesting thing. But look, in business, you want to follow the guy that is successful.
Yes.
Okay.
Always.
In our line of work, you get to the top of the mountain, and a lot of people just slide down the other side.
Right.
Okay. Right. It takes an exceptional person to make it to the top of the mountain the first time. It takes an even greater man to make it to the mountain the second time. Right. And Donald Trump has made it several times.
Yes.
I'm going to follow the guy that has slid to the bottom, rose to the top,
Mm-hmm.
slid to the bottom, rose to the top,
Right.
because he obviously knows the steps to get back there. Somebody who filed bankruptcy in their lifetime, who is now a billionaire on the front, I'm following him.
Right.
Whatever he did, I'm going to do, because those are the steps of champions. Those are the steps you have to take.
I bet you that that every time that he fell down, he never fell down the same way the second time.
No.
No.
So because I say this on my show a lot, to make $1 billion, you can't be dumb.
No. No.
and
true.
it ain't luck.
No.
You can't be lucky and make $1 billion, let alone $10 billion.
Right.
Right.
You got to have some smart there, and the media selling them short. Some small-minded people on the ground are selling him short.
Right.
And they think that he really doesn't know what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
Plus, he
He
knows how
just
to
needs to
fight.
put the people into place.
He knows how to fight too. He's the
He knows
first
how to fight.
Republican for a long time
Yep.
Yeah.
that could put it in your face. I love that.
Yeah.
part.
Well, and he's not afraid to put it in your face.
Right.
But look, I think the country is really in an uproar over the immigration because they feel like we're being a closed-minded society and we don't want migrants here. We really do want migrants here. I really
Right,
enjoy.
right.
I had a girl from Iran yesterday. Was my waitress in Georgia. And she was the kindest, nicest, sweetest little thing. She's scared to death, doesn't want to go home to visit her family because she's afraid she can't get back, and she does not want to be stuck in Iran. Harmless girl. But I just have to say she's done it the correct way. She got her visas. She waited a long time, and now she's here. And I think that a lot of people misunderstand what's going on. We're not trying to close borders so that people are, their kids are deported or just random people who have been here for 20 or 30 years get deported. We want to put them all on the right path, get them on the right playing field, get them the proper documentation so that they can start paying taxes and so that they too can be a productive part of America.
Right.
But it's all these guys that sneak into our country, take flight lessons, want to fly
yeah.
planes into buildings, who want to create terrorism. Look, we have urban terrorists. I'm not going to say we don't. Look at, McVeigh. He was an urban terrorist, went down there and blew up our federal courthouse.
Right.
We can't sit here and say that we don't have any terrorism at home, but we do. But we put them in jail.
Yeah.
We put them in jail. We lock them up. We do not have a barbaric society here where people are being beheaded in our streets and, girls are being raped on buses and whatnot. Women being, beaten to death in the street or stoned because they wore nail polish. Those things are barbaric, and those things do not go on here in America, but it's because we have accountability.
Right.
And so, it's not that anybody wants to say, people from Syria cannot come here. Of course we want people to come here. America is the place of opportunity.
Yes.
It's the most wonderful place ever.
You just have to respect us or respect this nation when you come here.
Because our
Right.
nation didn't become this way without rules. Those countries don't have these kind of rules, and that's why their countries aren't so great.
Right.
That's why Americans aren't flocking to Syria to we've got to flee America because it's so horrible. No one's fleeing America. They're not.
Right, exactly.
One thing Donald Trump did not know, I don't think.
Some
okay?
people should flee America, though, by the way.
Donald Trump had a career in several, as a builder, television, da-da-da-da-da. He did not know, like, a few things. For instance, I seen him say, did you know that 80% of the cocaine comes from Mexico? No. And he was like, now.
Yeah, ready to.
Most rich people, they yeah, he's down on the corner slinging.
Right.
They think that's shooting a slingshot. Or we know he's out on the corner selling dope.
Right.
So they don't get it because they're not in our world, right?
Right.
So I looked at his eyes when he was talking. Did you know? He was surprised.
Yeah.
We're building a wall. No. And he's like, we're shutting them down.
Yeah.
No, because he found out.
Right.
And that's what we want is someone, when they find out, not to turn their head because they might be called a name. He doesn't care.
Nope.
He's going to get it done. No, 80% of the cocaine comes from Mexico.
Did you see what happened when he went up to New Hampshire during the campaign?
Oh, with the heroin.
When he found out about the heroin, he didn't know about
Tell me.
He didn't know about the heroin that was plaguing all the kids up there in New Hampshire.
Yes.
He was like, basically,
It's a really big
did
problem,
you know
yeah. No,
what's
he-
happening up
yeah,
here in
he's
New
like,
Hampshire?
Does he
What
know
the
what's
hell?
happening in Virginia, right here across the river? I mean, Virginia, West Virginia, West Virginia, all of these places are plagued with heroin.
Oh, yeah.
And, and then we've got all
The
these Dr.
heartland.
Feel-Goods out there that are prescribing methadone to people, which is a more harmful drug than the actual heroin that it proposes to cure. It doesn't cure it.
No.
It
I'll
does
tell you,
not
I'm right
cure
on the
it.
border with West Virginia, and the meth problem down
Oh,
there is just
no.
devastating.
I hang
Entire counties.
Right.
And you know what they've done? They take Sudafed. Okay,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
where now you know what they
Well,
do.
and in those rural
If you-
communities, they're
if you-
using fertilizer from the farms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you go there, okay, if you go there to get meth, to get Sudafed, they take your name and your driver's license. So the drug dealer sends his neighbor. Who gives a dang? Sudafed, you're off the market. Hey, what is this stuff we've grown up with where it's, Tester's glue.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you...
Oh, airplane glue.
Yeah, guess what? You can get
See,
it.
that's before our time.
I know,
Wayne.
yeah,
We ain't in- we ain't in this
Guess what?
conversation. That's
You
before our
can't buy
Huffing.
it anymore.
Look,
Right.
you
No,
saw
you
his
can't-
eyes, though.
Look
You-
at his
yeah.
face. He's so
I
happy.
know.
Look, He's reliving his childhood.
I remember that
Somebody
guy.
quick, get a brown paper bag.
Yeah, huffing, right?
No, listen, you can't get that glue anymore. Is that right? You can't find it.
You
if
remember
you do,
that?
let me know. No.
Easy, Big Daddy.
You remember that
Easy.
table, that picnic table, the commercial when they had all the little monkeys on it, and the guy's selling the dope. He said, "Why do you think they call it dope?"
Wow.
No, so get rid of the Sudafed. Guess what? Methamphetamine, right?
Well,
Get
and
rid
they had-
of
yeah.
it. Don't just. I want to see your
But
driver's
it's not
license.
just
Sure,
Sudafed.
here,
I
I'm
mean,
buying
you
it.
can get the chemicals. You can get the chemicals.
Get
places.
rid of the chemical.
You've got to start replacing the chemicals with something different. But look, there is a war on drugs, and in the Obama administration they said we can't have a war on drugs because that means we're having a war on our own people. No,
stop
we're having a war on the drug, not on our own people.
Right.
But if we don't get tough on some of this stuff, we're going to lose our children. The millennials, they are really challenged. They've got a really heavy road. Most of them feel very entitled. Most of them feel that the rest of the country owes them a living.
Not one of them can change the oil in their car.
No, they
But
can't.
guess what happens?
My
When
own
one of
daughter, and I hope she's not listening to me right now, but my daughter's turning 18.
I'm not trying to get him mad at me now.
My daughter's turning 18, and she won't drive a car. She won't drive a car. She won't do her own laundry. She's like, Mommy. And I'm like, Mommy, you're going to college in 6 months. It's not going to be a mommy.
Come here, baby girl.
And that's the whole purpose.
Look.
And that's why I'm exactly. But that is exactly
drive
why
you
I'm. That's why I'm sending her to college so that she can live in a dorm, so that she could actually, we have to start letting them experience some letdowns and some.
Well,
failures.
let's talk about that now. Democrats, we don't need to be terrible because the Bible says to love one another. Okay, and we do. We love them. But wait till their kids start getting it. Or wait till they go out and get in the morning in their car. It's not there anymore. But the guy that just stole it and burned it or sold it gets out for free. That's what's going to change a Democrat to a, what do they call a Republicrat?
Right.
Or, I mean, look, they'll
if a
never
person-
come all the way, but they'll come half.
I say
normally
it like
is an
this,
epiphany.
if a guy's truly hungry, really indigent, and they're hungry, and they steal a loaf of bread, everybody can get behind that. And you feel compassion for that person because they're
As long as
truly,
it's not my bread.
they're truly hungry. But if that guy's ripped out of his gourd, drunk, or high on drugs, and he's stealing the bread, I don't have the same compassion because you made the choice to spend your money on drugs instead of on feeding yourself.
Right.
And I think that we have to get back to priorities. People aren't sitting out in front of the 7-Eleven because they choose to.
Right.
Well, I guess they do choose to, the 7-Eleven or the street corner or whatever. But that's the life they choose because sometimes that pays better. Guys on the street corner who are panhandling have told us we make more money standing here than we could ever make getting a job.
Because they're like, we're cable, mostly. We do Hawaii 5-0 once in a while. But thank you, Hawaii 5-0. No. But we're cable, right? And one time, she's sometimes very intelligent. And so I pulled up, and this guy's like, I know who you both are. And she's like,
gonna get it.
How do you know? And he's like, I watch your show. And she goes, wait a minute, that's cable. You got to pay for that.
Like, wait a second. So if you're watching my show, like, were you watching it through the window at Samson?
Yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy that told us.
You know what? And I wouldn't even
sitting
have
at
thought to say
Costco?
that either.
No,
That-
I
that's
told you
good.
once in a while she gets a little smart.
No, a couple of days ago, someone was debating me about rich and poor being in jail, and they said, "Well, what if he just got a speeding ticket?" Okay, well, firstly, people aren't in jail for speeding tickets. Okay, you don't go to jail for speeding. You only go to jail for speeding after you didn't show up for the court date. Let's just start there. But secondly, how'd they buy the car? How'd they buy the car? How'd they put the gas in the car? And wait, do they have insurance?
What if it's their grandma's car?
But did they have money for the insurance? They still have to have gas.
And insurance. Right.
You still have to have gas. You still have to have insurance. There still has to be resources of some kind. So you know what? If you don't want to do the time, don't do the crime.
There you go.
That is the
Beretta
message.
said that.
That is why there has to be repercussions and deterrence. As parents, if we don't put our kids in the corner, and give them time out and give them discipline, then we crank out
I got the discipline.
the future felons of America.
I got the discipline. Many times, daily.
Right.
Me too.
Right.
Daily.
But
Bend
that's,
over that couch, boy.
Yeah.
your parents are
Daddy,
probably
please
God-fearing
not.
people who
Take
said,
my clothes off because I pay too much.
spare
for
the
them.
rod, you spoil the child.
And believe me, every time we went to a amusement park, my dad bought a ride. Those paddles.
Oh yeah.
Of the amusement park. Oh,
Of
we
course.
Wants a little ball and string on it. Whop.
And then he took the ball off.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to the ball, but we took care of the paddles later on.
Yeah,
Right.
We went through the house
Busted
and we hit them.
Yeah.
But look how he turned out.
Yeah, exactly.
You have a job.
I'm not built for jail.
Most people aren't, and that's why the hug-a-thug, because they got to have the whole,
I like
sympathy thing.
I like that hug.
Look, I think that there's a mass movement moving across this country to put back law and order, and we say to that, be part of the steamroller or be part of the pavement.
There we go.
You couple that with making it harder to get the welfare benefits or whatever, and now you start incentivizing a guy to realize, look, there's nothing else I got to do. I got to work.
You gotta work.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
But we can't be mad as a society that people from Mexico are getting jobs and that these guys work.
Right.
They want to come here
question.
and they want to work and they want to support their families. There's nothing wrong with that. We just want you to tell us you're here, pay some taxes, get a real driver's license. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's not.
Speak English.
Speak English.
Can I tell you a story for a second?
Go.
In Commerce City, Colorado, years ago, I was chasing a fugitive through a house. As we went through a house, he bolted in somebody's door and took off. As the guy behind me, one of my agents was behind me, he found a computer that was making fake green cards. So as I'm chasing the runner, my friend Scott Culp called Commerce City PD and Beth. So Commerce City PD came and they raided the house for the green cards. Fast forward a week. Sitting in front of my house in Denver, this Mexican guy from Mexico had one of those buckets with the red cross and the little red suit. He was sitting there like begging, right? Mm-hmm. And a car.
No, he was collecting money at one of the street corners. He had on the white, it looked like a Salvation Army type collection.
So a couple of the kids saw a car hit him. Daddy, this car just hit this man. So I ran out there, and I saw him laying there, right? And I was like, and I moved him, and he felt like jello. And the cop was sitting right there with me. He said, "Dog, he's dead." And I'm like, "What?" He said, I go, "Why is he like that?" And he said, "Every bone in his body's broken." And he said, "Dog, would you reach in his wallet, get his wallet out of his pants? Let's get his name." And as I reached in the wallet, I pulled out his ID, and there was one of the fake green cards that I had busted a week before. And it said a name, and guess what? They buried him under that fake name.
So his mother...
And his mom and dad...
We have no idea. How do you even notify their parents?
Don't even know he's passed away.
You don't even know who they are. But I will, just to go back, because, he likes to tell the punchline before the joke is told. But we were going through this house chasing this individual, and all you could hear was like... So as he's chasing him, of course, I'm searching the other rooms. I come on this room that was set up, similar to how you guys have this set up in here, all these tables and whatnot. There was probably 5 printers printing out at the same time. 2 of them were printing out green cards. 2 of them were printing out Social Security cards.
Jeez.
And the other one was printing out the Colorado driver's license.
Oh, wow.
Now it was just the template for the Colorado driver's license. So then what they do was they'd insert a photo and then lay across the tape.
Right.
Because they had stolen rolls of the hologram tape.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so all they had to do was put a piece of this hologram
That's
tape
like an
across.
inside job thing.
Yeah, motor
Somebody
vehicle.
sold
Yeah,
it to him.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But you put a piece of this. I'm telling people how to do this now. But you put a piece of hologram tape across the front of it, and then they'd laminate it. Okay, and so they had it.
But once you see
They
it, you
had
can
it.
recognize it. So we looked at it good. And then when I pulled it out, again, I'm repeating myself, I looked at it and I told the cop, "Oh, my God." And the cop goes, "I read about that last week in the newspaper, dog." I go, "That's the same one." The cop's like, "Book him under that name. That's all we got, dog. Next." Because it wasn't the
But
cop's
they're not
fault.
forced into that. They can come and they can
Right.
go
Right,
down
right.
and
So-
they can start the process. Look, there are bail agencies, there are immigration bond companies, there are all kinds of people across this country that are willing to put you on an immigration bond so that you can start the process and not be deported. And that is a viable option for folks. You can go down, basically you're turning yourself in. You are taking your chance of whether you'd be deported immediately. But here in America, we give you a chance.
Right.
So you can get on an immigration bond. You can sit on a bond for immigration while you go through the process if you really want to stay in America.
And 11 years ago when I snuck into Mexico to capture Andrew Luster, Max Factor's
Did you hear that?
great-grandson,
He snuck
87 counts
into
of
Mexico.
rape.
Did
But
you
guess
hear
what
that?
I did? Signed my name. Gave him my passport. I snuck in all right. I wrote on the, what
Walked
is your
in
reason
legally.
here? What's your reason here? I put to arrest fugitive Andrew Luster. Because that's kind of bad because I knew the guy couldn't read English. So when I wrote, but guess what? When they went to set a bond, they said if he snuck in, he's not getting out.
Right.
And they produced the document that I registered.
Which was why he was
and the
able
court-
to bond out on his
and
immigration.
The judge said, wait a minute.
Because he didn't lie on his
He
application.
put on his application, he's here to arrest that gringo. Look what he did. His
Right.
bond's
And so
$300.
$300.
Hallelujah, Jesus.
$300, but because he did it
million.
right, he didn't lie on the application.
Right,
he
right,
didn't give
right.
false information. He gave his
Right.
own passport, and he came over, the way that he was supposed to.
Now, guess what Andrew Luster did? You know how they run, you never get them? Did not register.
Nope.
So before the soap was dry, the feds had him back in California before 24 hours.
They
'Cause
deported
he
him.
did
Wow.
not register.
They
Now,
deported
that's
him.
what they do to us
Now,
if we don't
he
register.
could have fought
That's
extradition.
great,
He
yeah.
could have fought extradition, and then it would have been a big hoopla blah. And America probably would not have gotten him back because there are extradition rules,
They
right?
got
If
him
you're
out too
facing
quick.
death or if you're facing, more than 40 years in jail, that he could seek asylum down there. But because he lied and he came over as David Carrera, he came over as someone else, gave a fake name, gave a fake passport, and he lied. America was able to have his ass deported within 12 hours of his capture.
Is that
Now, these
amazing?
guys languished in jail for another 4 or 5 days, being the people who caught him. But the guy himself was immediately returned back to America to stand trial, who is doing 124 years in prison today
Wow.
So that's
because
what,
of that.
That's what they do to an American that goes to another country. You're done.
You'll be deported
But
just
here,
as quick.
what is it called? Safe crime?
Safe haven cities.
Safe, what is it?
Sanctuary.
Sanctuary.
Sanctuary cities. My
See all those
God.
mayors get locked up too.
Well, I'd like to
Yeah,
see
no,
Governor
no,
Malloy
yeah,
locked up
yeah.
because he gave directives to his people last week that says you don't have to listen to Donald
It's
Trump. You
unreal.
don't have to do
Unbelievable.
that. And I think that governors like that should be removed from their positions.
Immediately.
Well, what is that
Immediately.
new with Kiefer Sutherland? That new show,
Designated
Designated
survivor.
Survivor. Have you seen that?
yeah.
That bro, that's a good show. And this governor said no, and Kiefer, and I kind of met
jailed him.
Kiefer. Kiefer sent the National Guard in there and said, "Gov, you're under arrest."
You're under arrest. You're out.
No, hey, come on, man. You're not going to be an American and go by the
We
rules.
might see
Get
something
out of
like that.
office.
We actually might see something like that. I mean,
Well, he
Well,
better.
look at Jerry
Okay.
Brown right now. Jerry Brown was the biggest critic of Donald Trump, going out there screaming and hollering about, we want to have
He
a
wants money.
Brexit.
He
So
wants
he needs
money.
some
No, we
money.
want to have a Brexit. We want a California to exit, the United States. And then 2 weeks later, he got hit by thunderstorms and ravaged. And
We
now
need
he's
a
over
little
there like
money.
Daddy going, Daddy, could I have the car keys?
And-
You know?
and
the
you know what?
intervention going on.
I would be like, no.
Well,
Seriously, no.
we got a Republican House.
Thankfully,
right?
he's humane
You're
to the
right,
rest
bro.
of the people
They may
who live
say
in California.
no. You're not going to obey the law. You ain't getting.
That's
a
a
dime.
different. That's the difference between me and President Trump because I think it's because I was born in December, so I hold a grudge, man. As a Sagittarius, I hold a grudge, and those people that treated President Trump so bad, and I'm talking about other Republicans, they treated him very bad.
Yeah, they
Right,
did.
right.
And now they switching on. Okay, well,
We
I'm
gotta
with
get
you now.
behind
I'm
it.
with you
Rah,
now.
rah, rah. Yeah,
Me,
right.
I would have been like, I didn't win with you. I'm going to use the new people that helped me get here, and y'all just sit on the sidelines
And watch.
and just watch for a while and learn how we do
Hide
it the
and
right
watch.
way. Okay,
That's right.
We know for sure. Everybody knows. We have a merciful president.
Yes.
Where
yes.
mercy
We
is
do.
shown,
We do.
mercy is given
We do.
biblically.
We do.
We know he's got a lot of mercy.
Right. Right.
Quit doing
Well,
that.
you can't. No one can hear you.
They can hear me.
I'm in the.
There's a
you
lot
know
of lip
what?
readers. They can hear me. So, I love you, baby.
Gross.
What'd you say?
I said that's gross.
Okay.
I'm telling you something to help you, and you're being
so
a boy.
we have a merciful president.
Honey, your ass is showing.
Yeah. So, watch your language. You're on live radio.
Nope.
So, he does have mercy.
He does.
And we've seen it in his, I don't know. I know he had Mark Burnett, producer, but I could imagine he's like, it's going my way.
Mm-hmm.
You're fired. I'm sorry.
Well,
right?
Mark Burnett is, the executive producer of
The Apprentice and several other shows.
and
But again,
the Jesus Christ movie and and the God series, and I think he had some help there.
very good guy.
Yeah.
Very good
We
guy.
know him.
We
don't
do know him?
Mr.
Yes,
Chuck.
yes.
We know
Actually, Mark
yes.
Burnett was the first one who wanted to do Duane's show. It was right around the Andrew Lester time, and we had already committed to someone else. But Mark Burnett wanted to send a plane down there. He wanted to help us out.
He encouraged me to catch
Thank
that
you,
rapist.
God, that we did not go that route, because we truly would have been kidnapping, and that would have been a bad thing. But we didn't take those avenues. But they were very interested. Mark is an incredible human being.
Yes.
He's asked Duane to be
Yes.
on The Apprentice 4 or 5 times, but quite honestly, we could make more money and
We were
look
shooting
good
our own show.
on our own show
Right.
versus being fired by Donald
Well,
Trump.
if they would have guaranteed me a win, I'd have done it.
And as we said, since there wasn't a couples edition of
Can you imagine him telling you you're fired, and then Dog saying, "No, you fired."
No, you fired. Make me fired.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
make
just saying,
me-
wait,
make
would
me
you please
leave the boardroom.
reconsider this? I'm the court.
There would have been a
Please.
negotiation going
Shaking
on.
up that.
I
shaking
want
up that mace
reconsideration. He'd be like,
Yeah, exactly.
okay, I want to appeal that decision, sir. I'm the
Opening a
court
can
guy.
of
I
whoop
got
ass
all
in
that.
Donald Trump's boardroom.
Well, look, you know what? We got to cut it short, but
Jeez, we've been here an
I
hour.
was gonna say,
already.
I don't think this is
You
short,
like,
Wayne.
you like that. You know what? And I'm gonna make this whole show anyway. So
Thank you, thank
whatever.
Great.
But
You're gonna split it in half, right?
oh no, we going
Yeah,
to
She
full-
keeps
my
doing
half
that to
and
me.
your
Cut it
half.
out right there. What you doing, girl?
But look, we have been telling everybody that comes onto the show during CPAC, we're gonna have them on in a couple weeks after. So
Sure.
I want to invite you back on
Sure.
Thank you very
to
much.
the show so we can talk some more. And this time you're going to take questions
Sure.
from the
audience.
crowd. Okay,
Sure, of course.
The listeners. Now, where's your home base? What city, state?
I'm in Baltimore.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
I'm in
You got a
Pittsburgh.
serious
Pittsburgh.
problem
I
in
know
Baltimore.
we do. I know we do.
Your bail reform is off the chart.
Now
over there.
that I don't know about, but listening to you, I believe you.
Yeah.
I believe
Well,
you.
I'll
Your football
educate you. I'll
team's
send
doing
you a
good.
lot of stuff out of Baltimore and give you something really to talk about.
Okay, we'll
Your
do that.
football team's doing pretty good though this year.
Oh, I'm a
Watch it.
Cowboys fan though.
Oh, are
Oh
you?
my God!
One of my favorite teams is the Cowboys too.
Okay, there.
Yes,
One of his
yes.
teams. We're Denver Broncos fans, staunch.
I can
forever.
do that because they're in another conference. So
But listen,
Right.
living in Hawaii where you don't have an NFL team, you can love 6 or 7.
There you go.
that's true.
You know, you don't
I
have
mean,
to be so loyal to just one.
what killed me living in Hawaii
Uh,
was football was in the morning, man.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I love it. You get up at
When that's
7.
over-
Yeah, it's on. I love it.
and then you got the whole rest of the day to do whatever you want to do. It's like
And that was a
Right.
problem for you?
it's like what am I going to do?
That was
now?
a problem for you?
Well,
I mean, it was
to
Hawaii.
start off.
I mean,
first.
you know, there's like windsurfing, surfing,
I
sailing.
love North Shore, man.
Yeah.
I love
Haleiwa
North
But now
town.
imagine when the
There's
games
plenty
are not
to do.
on. You're up at
Yeah,
7,
you don't know what to
nothing
do.
Shore.
You know, folks in Hawaii, they go to bed around 8. They wake up
Sun
around
falls.
4. And they're at the beach
Yeah.
at
that's
high
true.
tide at
That's
5
true.
a.m. when that
That's
sun starts to come up down in Sandy's Beach.
I miss it.
You know, so
I do miss it.
for us, it's a good thing that the football's on in the morning because that gives us the rest of the day to go to the beach.
Let me ask you a question before I let you go. Right now, because what's the temperature right now?
Warm. Yeah, not for 4
Do you
hours from here.
do you feel cold?
Yes.
Freezing.
I spent 4 years in Hawaii. Like I told you, I came home during the winter. I had never felt
75.
Right, but I had never felt it that cold.
Freezing.
before.
Right.
Because I had been over in Hawaii for so long.
Your body got used to
The
that.
body got used to it, and I'm wondering, are y'all going through that right
Freezing.
now?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
Freezing.
okay.
Freezing to
kids-
death.
It was 69
Okay,
the other
all right.
night in Hawaii. We don't
Right,
very rare
right.
get in the 60s.
Yep.
Our kids came in, oh, Mom, Dad, we're freezing. And she goes, you guys are so spoiled.
So spoiled.
Why is it spoiled? Because I'm cold. What does that mean? They didn't get it, right?
So
Right. Because
spoiled.
they live in paradise.
Lucky you live in
for
Hawaii.
Weather-wise.
Right.
Look, we moved our kids to Hawaii because it was safer there. And I
Yeah.
will
I
just,
see that.
Very safe.
our
can see
children
that.
are not being stolen off the streets.
Right.
They are not being lured
Where they
in
going?
by pedophiles. I can tell you there are very few pedophiles in Hawaii, if you can find any, because the Hawaiians
Alive.
take care of their own.
Alive.
The Hawaiians take care of their own. There's this thing there called Shark 30. And,
Can't you-
most of those people fall prey to Shark 30.
Can't you circle that island in about 1 hour?
No,
Oahu,
4.
4 hours.
4 hours to go all the way around.
All the way around. Okay.
All the way around. Some people get rock lock, but, because it can't.
I did.
No.
No, well, okay. I didn't. I told people I did, but I didn't.
No.
You can keep going to Japan if you want to.
Look,
good.
living in Hawaii is just a completely different
Yes.
lifestyle. It's a
Yes.
little slower, but for child rearing, it was just a much better option. Like my kids, they would be the future felons of America if they lived here, because they would get
'Cause
caught
they
up
got
in too
your
much
blood.
stuff. They got your blood, but let's not even start, dear. That's a whole nother show. But
Drive down like highway.
that's like
Licky.
leak. It's called a like. Okay, it's a like highway, and
When
the poly.
when I saw that for the first time, I'm like, man, y'all got a highway called like highway. and they straightened me out right
I know
there.
they come
They
to
did.
say, "May Halo, brother."
But they also but the respect level.
Mahalo.
But the respect level that they teach children in Hawaii is amazing.
Yes.
That the children open the doors for the elderly.
Yep.
I mean, there is a much different standard of respect, being raised in Hawaii, and that's mainly why we stay, and it's mainly why we continue to raise our children there. Once they're of age, we'll bring them to the mainland, but this is a war zone here in America right now, and we've just really got to clean up our own country. So
We gotta
we're
go,
looking
honey.
forward to that.
All right. Well, with that, somebody said that they had a question real quick in the chat room. They told me to look, but I haven't seen it. So, huh? Oh yeah, I know. I'm watching it. We are going to have them back on within the next couple of weeks. Oh, okay. How did Beth and Dog meet?
Let me tell the story. I bonded her out of jail when she was 19 years old for stealing a lemon. When her pager went off, she went around the corner and called the senator she worked for. She went around the corner, called the senator she worked for, and when they came up, she's
Packing
said
a 9mm.
she had a gun in her purse,
Oh,
and
With
they
hollow
put her
points.
in jail.
hollow point.
So I got a shoplifting, a carrying a concealed weapon, misuse of a firearm,
lemon?
illegal ammunition. Yeah.
Wow.
But so what happened? We met like that, but he sent my bond out on the bus. Okay, so that meeting wasn't ever going to happen because, as far as I was concerned, this guy left me in jail for 14 hours.
Instead of going
Okay.
personally, it was a $300 bond.
No, it
So I
wasn't a
sent it
300.
on
Like
the
he always
Trailway
says
bus.
this. He made $300.
Oh,
My bond was
wow.
$2,500. But
Oh, big bond.
yeah, well, it was for you at that time, homegrown.
10%.
You wasn't all that in a bag
So
of
then
chips.
she wouldn't come fill out her paperwork, right?
Nope.
Uh-huh.
So I told her,
No, I was
"Listen,
like,
little
screw
girl."
him. I'll send you my paperwork on the bus.
And her daddy was a pro ball player, right? I said, I don't care who your daddy plays for. You better get in here and fill out your paperwork.
Wow.
So I come down there and I see this guy. He comes walking out of the back with this big long hair and black leather pants, and he had a dog, a big black Great Dane named Onyx, right?
Uh-huh.
And these two came walking out from the back, and I thought to myself, "Oh yes, he will be mine." Let the stalking begin. He wasn't easy to catch either. He played coy, Roy.
Did he
too.
really?
Please. I'm wife number 5.
You
I am the last
cannot
in a
bail.
long line of women before me.
I have been with her 20, how many years?
Really, dear?
How many? 20?
How old am I?
Messed the math.
Okay,
don't
I'm
do that, don't do
49. You got me
49.
when I was 19. Do the math.
Okay, go ahead.
He's fired.
So, but you know why I didn't? Because I ain't like that. Ask her.
Oh, he is like
No,
that.
That's a lie.
You're right. He can't do
you're not
math.
supposed
That's
to date
why
your
he.
clients. It's not a law.
Oh, my God.
But it's an immorality, right? So
In some states,
no.
it's actually a law. You can't date
So
your clients.
I take her to court, and I say, now listen, this judge is a hanging judge. Be really nice and plead no contest, which is like
Just hurry up and get off bond.
And get off bond. So I meet her in the courtroom. The judge walks in. She goes, "Hi, Francis."
I go, now listen, Francis.
To the judge?
Yeah, she knows the judge.
Nice.
Hi, Alice. Oh, God. And he drops the case.
Oh,
No,
my God.
he did
Yes,
not
he
drop
did.
the case. That's a fib and a half.
How much did you have
I
to
did
pay?
6 months in jail, day for day.
On that case or the other
Dang
one?
right,
For
Francis.
not bringing back
no,
a
and then
video
I would write
recorder.
him from jail.
No, she
no,
did.
I would write him from
Case or
jail.
the other one.
And I would be like, listen, Francis, I have a life. Like, this is really inconveniencing me. You know, and he would bring me into court just to go, ma'am, I am not letting you out. You're going to do every dang day. But I will tell you, I praise him, and I'm still friends with him today because he made me who I am.
Oh,
Because
there
had
we
I
go.
really not done that 6 months in jail, I would not be able to talk the talk that I do.
There we go.
You know, I experienced it firsthand, as Duane did.
And then hanging with him
Yeah.
made you a whole lot stronger,
Yeah,
too.
because
A
he
whole lot
called my
stronger.
office and said, "Would you please tell your girlfriend to quit writing me every day?"
Every day. Relentless ruthlessness, which is how we catch our fugitives.
But we
That's
did
right.
go in to
That's
see him into his chambers and said, "My God, the craziest pair I've ever seen."
He's a
I
big
am
fan
so-
of our show.
No, you
Oh.
don't
know,
think, I am
it-
so
oh.
proud
Life
of you,
is
Dog
life
and
is
Beth.
funny, you know.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
guy that I thought was, you know, the Antichrist, you know, basically turned out to be a guy that basically saved my life. So
It's like
you know.
Donald Trump, like you said. How many of us thought, Wayne, that we'd be saluting Donald Trump as a president
Exactly.
of the
Exactly.
United States?
Exactly.
It's incredible.
Man.
At
Well,
least it's not Ross Perot.
I used to like him. He would always come on the TV. Well, America is like a car. You got to open up the hood and see what's wrong with it,
Right.
and run up the flagpole and see if anybody salutes. I was like,
Who
wow.
was the guy that made seatbelts? Remember that guy? What was his name? That not Pro, but the other one.
Wow,
He made-
way before my time.
Yeah.
He made
Yeah.
Actually, when I was born, they had
You know, and he
seatbelts. So
criticized everything.
Ralph Nader.
Ralph Nader. Where's old Ralph at?
You know, I don't know, but I watched this YouTube roast of him with Dean Martin and
He ran for president
Foster Brooks.
every time
Ralph-
since Dean Martin.
Foster
Yeah, no,
Brooks.
Ralph ran for president. Yeah, what
I
kind of-
The Green
watched
Party.
him
yeah,
roast
Green
him.
Party. Yeah,
He
Green
wasn't laughing,
stamps.
but everybody else was laughing.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, there we gotta let you go, but we're gonna bring you back in a couple of weeks, and
Thank
then
you,
we're gonna.
guys.
The whole show is gonna be answering questions from the group because so many people. I mean, they
We just don't have
they
the
love you.
capability here to do it.
They
Right.
love you here. They love
Great.
you. Dog and
Well,
Beth,
we
you
love
guys
them.
are awesome. This is Pamela. Dog and Beth, you guys are awesome. Thank you for what you do, and God bless you. Haley says, beautiful testimony, Beth and Dog. New LIS2C says, these are some of the nicest people. Sandy Bow says, thank you, guys. Great story. Yeah, there's so much. Pamela says, love this interview. So
You'll get
Thank
one.
you,
he
Pamela.
arrested
we got to
him
get you
soon.
back. We got to get you back
Definitely.
quicker.
And
quicker
listen,
than
anybody who wants to know more about our life story can pick up Dog's book. You know, you can run, but you can't hide, or you can pick up Where Mercy Was Shown, Mercy Is Given, and that'll give you an insight to who we are and where we came from. And if your life parallels ours, then you know, get on board, get on the Beth and Dog train, get on Wayne Dupree show, get
There
on
you
our
go.
Facebooks, our Twitters. We talk to everybody, but please don't call my office.
Oh yeah, and one quick story. I saw Beth and Dog walking into the big ballroom early this morning. Made me feel good, so that's the only reason I'm saying this. Saw them walking in. They were going to do a interview on Fox News, and all I wanted to do was go up and say, "Hey, how y'all doing?" And somebody got in front of us and said, "No, you're gonna talk to me before, and then I'll take care of it." And Beth heard it. It's like, hey, that's my friend, so they can come to me.
Right.
Man, I turned around with a big smile and walked out of there. I came out here and laughed my tail off. I was
Oh.
like, yeah, that's my friend right
That's my
there.
friend.
That
That's my
just
friend.
laid out somebody.
I remember. I didn't know who you were talking about. I heard you saying that.
Well, because, you know, They got to be kinder, a little
right.
kinder to my friends.
There
But,
you go.
know, look, we love you, Wayne.
Thank
We'll come
you,
on
dear. Thank
anytime
you.
you need us.
Thank
we love
you.
you guys.
Hey,
you
thank
know.
you so much.
We'll be back anytime. Just remember, be part of the steamroller, be part of the pavement.
There we
And as they say where we're from, aloha.
Aloha.
Thank you. God bless. Love you, brother. Love you, brother. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.